On behalf of the University, I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you to this congregation for the conferment of degrees here in our Barony Hall. Today is a very special day in the University calendar. It's a graduation day, which makes it a day of celebration for all our graduates who are about to become graduates, for all the family and friends that are here to see them, and for all of the staff of the University. Now, in a few moments, it will be my privilege to cap each of our graduates as their name is called out and they come up on stage to receive their award. They will stand before me and I shall place the graduation cap on their head, thereby conferring their degree. The capping tradition has its roots in ancient China, and it is recognised as a rite of passage and as a mark of achievement. And for each of our graduates once capped, this also signifies that they are now part of a scholarship of the University that can stretch back over 200 years to the Scottish Enlightenment. At the start of this morning's proceedings, we have a special award, and this is the Alumna Award, which is made to one of Strathclyde's graduates who has made significant contributions during their career. And we'll hear a little bit about those contributions during the presentation. At the close of the ceremony, we have a reception in our Learning and Teaching building to which everyone is invited to come along. We hope to have an academic procession. That will depend upon the weather, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed that by the time this ceremony is finished, that the weather has dried up. In the meantime, I do hope that you enjoy the ceremony, and when you see your loved one come up on stage to receive their award, I would strongly encourage you to celebrate, to cheer, to clap, to holler. These occasions don't come round very often, so please feel free to make the most of it. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is open, and I invite Professor Stephen MacArthur, the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, to present our honorary graduand to receive her award.
Vice Principal, I have the honour and privilege of presenting to you Dr. Carol Marsh, OBE. We are celebrating a person who embodies all of our values at the University of Strathclyde. She is a role model for anyone who aspires to be successful in engineering and has demonstrated boldness and ambition in her career while clearly being people-oriented and supporting those around her. With over 30 years of experience in the electronics industry, she has applied her knowledge and skills in both large and small companies. She has won 3 technical awards: the Electra Student Engineer of the Year, the IET Innovation Award, and the NMI Emerging Technology Award. Carol decided early in her career that she wanted to give something back, since her career had given so much to her. Since then, she has been promoting engineering for all and is passionate about supporting equality, diversion, and inclusivity in our profession. She has been president of the Women's Engineering Society, where she founded the Female Engineering Student Conferences. In 2021, she was appointed as the first woman to chair the Council of the IET, which is the Institute of Engineering and Technology, the international organisation that represents electronic, electrical and technology engineering professionals. This council is an international body of 28 individuals from across the globe. It is responsible for advising the Board of Trustees on the direction and strategy of the IET. And when appointed, she commented that she wanted to energise and inspire existing engineers while drawing on their expertise to engage in a new generation of talent. You will hear that she has been energising and inspiring engineers throughout her career. Carol also became the first woman to chair the Engineering Policy Group Scotland in October 2021. This acts as a two-way link between the engineering profession and government and is made up of members from Scottish industry, academia and professional organisations engaged with Scottish issues. She has also been chair of IET Scotland. Carol has won 4 awards for her work inspiring and mentoring women in engineering: the FDM Every Woman Inspiration Award, the Women's Engineering Society's Gillian Skinner Award, the Women's Engineering Society's Isabel Hardwich Medal, and the International Women Leadership Achievement Award. Carol is also a member of the Advisory Board for the Association for Black and Minority Ethnic Engineers. In recognition of her support for the engineering profession, in 2020 she was awarded the Order of the British Empire, an OBE, for her work promoting diversity and inclusion in electronic engineering. This is a fantastic recognition of her outstanding work in this area. When speaking to her about her contributions and activities within the IET, I found out the highlight of her experience, which was a bit of a surprise to me, really, because it was meeting the actor Sir Patrick Stewart, also known to us as Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. However, in further conversation and finding out that she is a lifelong Trekkie, that cleared up that excitement for me. She is now Head of Digital Systems at Celestia UK and is receiving the Alumna of the Year award in recognition of her successful career and her significant contributions to engineering and equality, diversity and inclusion within the profession. I'd like to spend some time reflecting on the early stages of Carol's journey to Alumna of the Year. Her early interest in maths and computer programming, and probably Star Trek, as you heard, set her on her journey. A teacher pointed her towards studying computer engineering, where she could learn about computing and how to build computers. And as we reflect on her achievements, I think it's worth noting that today is National Engineering Day. And National Engineering Day is a day that aims to make the UK's engineers and engineering more visible and to celebrate how they improve everyday lives and shape the world around us. And this year, the theme is improving lives through engineering, as we celebrate engineers across the country who are working on projects and products that are improving lives. And today we are celebrating an alumna who has been improving lives through her career. She undertook an HND in Electrical and Electronic Engineering from Edinburgh Napier University, and after graduating with this, she then achieved an EngD, the degree of Doctor of Engineering in System Level Integration. This was a joint award from the Universities of Glasgow, Edinburgh, Heriot-Watt and Strathclyde. She received this in 2011. Strathclyde is focused on being an inclusive university and supporting people's educational ambitions in whatever journey they choose. Carol's route from HND to doctorate resonates strongly with her education for all and socially progressive attitude to supporting multiple routes through the education landscape. She is a highly successful industrial engineer, and Dr. Marsh has almost 40 years of experience at senior engineering levels, including senior design engineer for GEC Marconi Avionics, where she was the first engineer to produce a design using a field programmable gate array. She then went on to hold principal digital and design engineering roles at BAE Systems and ECS Technology. When at Leonardo, she was responsible for overseeing the business's electronic processes, tools and resource planning, as well as being their firmware design authority. She was appointed to Head of Digital Systems at Celestia UK in April 2022 and is responsible for expanding the digital systems capabilities for satellite communications, signal processing algorithms and distributed platforms which augment their radio frequency and antenna expertise. Her appointment comes at a pivotal moment for the business, supporting its current growth trajectory. Given how busy Carol is with her career, advisory roles and volunteer activities, she needs to work very hard to fit in the time to follow Formula One and to get to her salsa dancing. She's managed to meet Jean-Luc Picard already, but I know from chatting to her that Sir Lewis Hamilton is next on her list of targets to meet. It has been my great pleasure to outline Carol's achievements here, and it is with great pleasure, therefore, Vice Principal, that I ask you to present the Alumna of the Year Award to Dr. Carol Marsh, OBE.
I present to you the Alumna of the Year Award. Many congratulations and welcome back to the university.
Thank you very much. So, Vice Principal, Associate Principal, graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, It's such an honour to be here today to receive the Alumni of the Year and to be given the opportunity to talk about my career in engineering, especially as today is National Engineering Day. So how did I become an engineer? At school I liked maths, and in my final year I was given this thing called a computer. It was the only computer in the school, and I learnt basic programming. The career advisor went to him and said, "What can I do with this thing called a computer?" And he looked it up in a book and he said, "Well, there's computer programming." I said, "What's that?" He says, "Programming." "Okay." He says, "There's computer engineering." I says, "What's that?" He says, "Programming and fixing and building computers." "That sounds cool," I said. So that's how I studied engineering. I was the first one in my family to stay on at school, first one to go to university, first one to do engineering. However, when I got to university, I thought, I've made a mistake. It was all about power engineering, and I really didn't enjoy it. But then in my last term, I was introduced to this thing called logic gates, and that was me. I knew I was in heaven, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. I did the HND, and I did a sandwich course, which included 9 months working in industry. But I got married at the end of second year. Right? So the university, when I showed up in third year, they were really, really surprised. They didn't think I'd come back because I was married. But not only am I still in engineering, I'm actually back at Napier as a visiting professor. I've worked in aerospace, telecom, security and space industries. I started as a general engineering, just doing test equipment, then I focused on digital, and then in 1990 I became the first engineer to do field programmable gate arrays, and I've specialised in that area ever since. I've worked in companies ranging from 2 people, me and my boss, to over 2,000 people, and I've managed up to 300 engineers and reached executive levels. I did an MSc in digital techniques. Then in my mid-40s, I came here to Strathclyde to do a full-time doctorate in system-level integration. My supervisor was Professor John Sorrigan, who's now retired. This started a long journey with Strathclyde, especially with the digital signal processing team, and included returning to give presentations and even hiring students from the MSc course. I can't believe the amazing things that have happened since my doctorate, having won all the awards and including getting my OBE. And obviously this wonderful award that I've been given today as Alumni of the Year, which I'm really honoured to receive. But I've met brilliant people all the way through my career, everything from fantastic engineers to MPs to the King. Well, he was a prince when I met him, but he's the King now. And events that I've attended. I've been the president of the Women's Engineers Society. I'm on many boards. I'm now the vice president of the IET. I've had a really good career in engineering and feel it's time to give back as a role model and encourage people to get into engineering. The world of engineering and electronics especially has changed so much since I was born. When I was born, there was black and white TVs, you had big landline dial phones, there was records and record players, no home computers, no internet, no electronic games, no cash line machines or debit cards. But when I started working, we'd come a little bit further. There was colour TVs with just 4 channels. We had a mobile phone, which looked like a brick. It was really big. Cassette tapes had taken over records for the first time. And there was the ZX80 home computer, which I actually started with the ZX81 for my 18th birthday. There were cash line machines at that point in time, but there's still no internet. So now we have large screen TVs, mobile phones, multiple computer games, multiple computers in the house, internet, debit cards, streaming music and videos. So, the advancement in components as well over the last 50 years has been phenomenal. If you take memory devices, they were 256 bytes. They're now up to 64 gigabytes. You've gone processors 1 core to 16 with 7,500 times more capability. And FPGAs have gone up from having 4,000 transistors to 30 billion transistors. The next 50 years is going to be incredible. And electronics will be fundamental to everything, including medical advances, net zero solutions, travel innovations, using Internet of Things, robotics, augmented reality, and most important, technology which hasn't been invented yet, but will be invented by yourselves. Receiving your engineering degree is the start of an engineering career, but also your start of your lifelong journey of learning. With your degree, you can work anywhere in the world and in just about any industry, and it can open doors that you can't imagine. Thank you.
Vice Principal, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Engineering in Advanced Manufacturing, Forming and Forging, Amir Rashid. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy for Research in the Department of Design, Manufacturing and Engineering Management, Ahmed Murtaza Qureshi. For research in the Department of Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Ewan Thomas Andrew. Adedayo Ayodeji Asaolu. William Thomas Aylward. Madalitzo Chikumbanji. Abdelrahman Salaheldin Abdilhamid El Wakil. Samson Damilola Fabidi. Metin Ike. Ahmed Maki. Tawachi Nayasulu. Iljun Seferi. Baixian Chao. For research in the Department of Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering, Angus Gray Stevens. For research in the Department of Naval Architecture, Ocean and Marine Engineering, Sung Il Ang. Olena Karpenko. Daejeon Kim. Savas Sezen. For the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Manufacturing, Technology and Systems, Vanessa Sebastian Correa. Drew Grant Kiefer. Jane Elizabeth Nicol. Daniel Angus Sims. Paul Patrick Tiama. In Design Engineering, Amy Gregg. Ashik Kanapiliparambil Latif. Lalith Prabhudev. In Design Engineering with Advanced Product Development, Enrique Capello de Figueiredo. Sukumaran Kannan. Dean Aaron Ola Mobit. Navanith Ravikumar Nalini. Rikvit Kumar Sujit Kumar Sharma. In Design Engineering with Sustainability, Pamela Mercedes Abreu Toribio. In Digital Manufacturing, Rohan Miranda. In Engineering Management for Process Excellence, Ashraf Faiz Said Al-Shihidris. Rizki Danurajmanto. Samartha Sunil Kashid. Himanshu Vivek Katikar. Daniel James Kirkbright. Yu Liu. Jack Maguire. Sri Sadan Pampana. Jiranan Punlamuyan. Mohammed Miran Siddiqui. Al-Sevran Subedar. Aditya Ravi Tupi. Muhammad Hamza Sahid. In Manufacturing Management, Ashwin Mahendra. In Mechatronics and Automation, Mohammed Nabil Ashrafi. Amin Farid Beslimani. Aditya Gaikwad. Harshal Balaram Pimple. Mohammed Rizwan Seyana Asan Sheikh Uduman. Mohammed Haris bin Tahir. Josh Ashok Utekar. Niraj Rao Sahib Wali. In Product Design, Omaima Mohammed Al-Sinani. Berham Athir. Yang Huang. Vinit Vikas Campbell. Alexander Kirkham. Parishkit Ramgonda Patil. Alex Wicks. In supply chain and logistics management, Tanay Bahukandi. Adesami Adedeji Faletti. Ross John Geddes. Makdum Muhammad Haris Hashmi. Amit Kumar. Trupti Shrikant Pandire. Salman Sadiq. Pravin Ranganath Sawant. Esther Gyungaiver Barga. In supply chain and procurement management, Arif Hassan. Sarveswada Naga Sailesh Kumar Betsa. In supply chain and sustainability management, Claire Alexander. Naman Gautam. Paula Linea Hirschganger. Zoe Kostik. In systems engineering management, Joseph Dunn. Mohammed Ashraf Fauzi Ahmed Badir. Joe Mack. Ryan George McFadden. Joanne McLucky. Christopher James Rycroft. In autonomous robotic intelligence systems, Mohammed Adlan Ait Amir. Tom Morrison Beards. Dimos Douciotis. Yogiswari Kartiguyani. Vivek Kukuvail Regu. Chintan Lalit Patel. Jilu Siam Prasad. Divij Mukesh Reddy. In electrical power and energy systems, Abd El Rahim Mutasim Abdel Rahim Ahmed. Saida Mayesa Azim. Hamid Ayodeji Fasasi. Kidus Tewelde Gebremichael. Samuel Kuma Aboagie. Nikhil Kumar. Gokula Krishnan Selvan. In electronic and electrical engineering, Aftad Ahmed. Don Dominic. Arun Jaranaran Nair. Alan Martin. Krishnesh Deveshchandra Patel. In future energy and power system operation and management, Wai Keng Vin Yu. In machine learning and deep learning, Andrew William Clark. Michael Alexander Gillespie. Said Junaid Iqbal. Avishek Gowda Kanchanahali Shivaraj Kumar. Nilesh Dinesh Kumar Ohol. Negar Sekaran. Callum Walker. In wind energy systems, Aksa Khan. Kenneth MacLeod McSween. Ewan Daniel McAdam. In advanced naval architecture, Katrina Di Giorgio. Ali Hashimi Hussein. In marine engineering, Insik Huang. Dimitrios Karayorgopoulos. Sarabjit Munde. Mohammed Shaduhi. Christos Seravinara Xenofontos. Akhil Sunish. Julian Maximilian Waldrich. In offshore wind energy, Oliver Adrian. Krishikesh Atitkar. Victor Pierre-Louis Baudrenguem. Sky Francis. Jordan Walsh. In Sustainable Engineering Offshore Renewable Energy, Cara Mary Cecile. Connor Argyle Jack Collins. Estefan Leopoldo Díaz Mercado. Luca Joachim Socrate Guidetti. Kartik Kantharaju. Alexander Douglas Leake. Thomas Warburton. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Product Design Engineering, Charlie Butterworth. Sanjana Singole Gomez. In Computer and Electronic Systems, Dominic Collins Simpson. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering, Hassam Kamran. Abu Bakr Khalid Mer. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering with International Study, Tianyi Gao. In Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering, Philip Lang. Drew Jamie Lithgow. For the degree of Master in Science in Product Design and Innovation, Bethany Susan Polanski. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Product Design Engineering, Hannah Jane Doherty. Hania Julia Ellingen. Ross Douglas John McKinley. Lee William Salisbury. Ewan James Dumbrek. In Electrical and Mechanical Engineering, Spiridon Andreas Frisidas. Lucy McCrossan. Caris Catherine Flores Series. In Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Amin Hifi. Robert William Beach. Paul Martin Grant. Piotr Radoslaw Wolczak. Kai James Alexander Goodman. Michael Williams. In Engineering, Design and Manufacture, Jonathan Scott Brown. Colin John Crawford. Blair Inglis. Scott Graham Jackson. Scott Douglas James Cale. Ross John Kerr. Amy Margaret Loader. Matthew Stuart McIntyre. Thomas William Moffat. Richard Mullen. Luke Christopher Payton. Matthew Kennedy Reed. Andrew John Rotherham. Mark David Stewart. Alec Matthew Van Lind. Callum Stuart Williamson. Saad Raza Ahmed. Connor Bradley. Christopher James Burwood. Paul Harry Davidson. Callum Davey. Ryden Ian Ferguson. Roderick Graham. Louise Hunter. Grant David McLaren. Robert John McClatchy. Keir Mitchell. Kyle Morrison. Cameron Stephen Telfer. Cameron John Richard Bingham. Jamie Clarkson. In Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering, Markos Kiofidis. Panagiotis Koitsoutos. Yu Yung Yang Wong. Martin Nimmo. In Naval Architecture with Ocean Engineering, Callum Rafferty. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Product Design and Innovation, Shona Christine Adam. Claire Black. Jamie Urquhart Bennett. Daniel Dunn. For the degree of postgraduate diploma in mechatronics and automation, Nayanika Bopana. For research in the Department of Electronic and Electrical Engineering, Walid Mohammadi Hassan Nassar. For the degree of Master of Science in Engineering Management for Process Excellence, Kunal Verma. For the degree of Master of Science in Mechatronics and Automation, Hemant Babu Dulipala. For the degree of Master of Science in Supply Chain and Logistics Management, Sirish Surej Nawadi. Rana Shekhar. For the degree of Master of Science in Supply Chain and Procurement Management, Malakonda Reddy Sidigeri.
Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, and most of all, Strathclyde University's newest graduates, it is my pleasure to once again welcome you to this congregation. Our graduates have been quite literally centre stage, and I would like to begin my address by congratulating all of you once again on your academic achievements. Your hard work has paid off, and this has now been formally recognised in front of your families, friends, and the staff who taught and supported you during your time at the university. Let's give all of our graduates a big round of applause. Now, in a short while, you may be asked to join the academic procession as this leaves the Barony Hall, depending upon the weather. The invitation actually symbolises the fact that you are now full members of the academic community at Strathclyde, a worldwide community that numbers over 180,000 individuals. You now join such esteemed company as David Livingstone, the missionary and explorer, John Logie Baird, who invented television, Dame Eilish Angelini, Scotland's first female Solicitor General and Lord Advocate, Helen Liddell and Baroness Annabel Goldie, leading Scottish politicians, and the entrepreneur and philanthropist Sir Tom Hunter. Now, today we are celebrating your achievements and recognise the unique challenges that have been brought about by the coronavirus pandemic. The last 2.5 years have been particularly difficult due to the pandemic, and you have shown great resilience and determination to arrive at this day. The pandemic has challenged our health systems, it has impacted on our economies, and it changed the way in which we work and study. It's also demonstrated what society can achieve when we work together, and it's placed science at the forefront of finding the solutions to the challenges we face. It was science and universities that delivered vaccine for the COVID-19 virus in record time. And it is science, engineering and education that will help us address other pressing issues, such as climate change. As a university community, we are very much aware of our responsibilities to reducing our impact on the planet, which is why we set a target to reduce our carbon emissions by 70% by 2025 and to reach net zero before 2040. Now, to our graduates who are celebrating today, each of you will have benefited from the active support of your families, friends, supporters, and academically through your lecturers, tutors, and supervisors. For the past half hour or so, their applause has rung in your ears as you each in turn cross this stage to receive your awards. I would now like to invite all of our graduates to show their appreciation for all the support that they have received from their family, friends, and supporters. Your success, and in turn our success as a university, is in no small part due to the efforts of our staff who are delivering our vision as a leading international technological university that is socially progressive. And you can tell a lot about the values of an organisation by looking at its roots. Strathclyde University traces its lineage back to 1796, when Anderson brought it into being, the only Scottish university founded during the Age of Enlightenment and embodying the Enlightenment principles of reason, tolerance, and equality. Anderson's belief in useful learning and his commitment to taking knowledge and using this for the greater good is the motivating force which gives Strathclyde University its momentum today. Anderson believed in knowledge for the greater good and education for all, what we would call widening access and participation. Strathclyde University is at the forefront of widening access to higher education by welcoming those with the ability to learn, regardless of their personal circumstances. And 20% of our new students each year come from the most challenging areas of the country. Our ethos, or useful learning, continues to be as relevant today as we seek new knowledge that we can readily apply to global challenges. We are a research-intensive university determined to make a positive difference to the lives of our student, to society, and to the world. Through our groundbreaking research, we're helping to change the world for the better. Through our scientists and engineers, we are leading the development of innovative technologies that will facilitate the transition from fossil fuels to clean, sustainable energy sources such as wind, solar, geothermal, and hydrogen. We are developing new drugs along with new manufacturing processes that will provide drugs which will be cheaper, more efficient, in the fight against cancer, kidney disease, and inflammatory disease. And we are also supporting our health services to face the challenges of health and social care and the changing demographics of the 21st century. Through our focus on entrepreneurial education, we are helping students and staff to create new businesses, sustainable businesses, as well as supporting growth. We're growing Scotland's manufacturing capabilities in the Advanced Manufacturing Innovation District Scotland out at Glasgow Airport, where Strathclyde hosts the National Manufacturing Institute for Scotland. Our globally minded students and staff are also working in sustainable development and helping to address some of the inequalities in India, Malawi, and the Gambia by establishing clean water supplies, renewable power sources, and healthcare facilities. We understand the value in working in partnership as we extend our global reach with other leading universities, including Stanford, New York University, Nanyang Technological University, and the National University of Singapore. As a university, we are continually working to enhance our student experience, investing in our campus, as evidenced by our new Strathclyde Sports Building and the Learning and Teaching Building, and we are investing in student mental health and wellbeing support services and placing our students at the heart of everything that we do. Our progress in these areas has been recognised in recent years, and we are the only UK university to win the Times Higher Education University of the Year twice. And in February of this year, we received our third Queen's Anniversary Award for our leadership in advanced manufacturing. In recent times, we've also been named the Times Higher Business School of the Year, the Workplace of the Year, and we have won the UK Research Project of the Year. Recently, UK-wide results were released for the 7-year assessment of research quality in the UK's 157 universities and higher educational institutions. Strathclyde's overall assessment reported that nearly 90% of a university's research was assessed as being world-leading or internationally excellent. Included in the university's many achievements, engineering are ranked first in Scotland and ninth in the UK for research power, and in terms of the impact of our research, engineering are ranked first equal in Scotland. Strathclyde engineers have also secured significant funding from the UK Space Agency to address the many problems created by space debris, which is a significant global challenge facing the space sector. Engineering researchers are also developing a step change in the usage of aerial drones for the delivery of blood products, human organs and medical supplies. The development of a digital blueprint for a fully integrated drone delivery network is predicted to accelerate green aerospace technologies in Scotland, with the potential to introduce the next generation of NHS services. And a pioneering new research partnership has been established between engineering researchers and the charity Chest, Heart and Stroke Scotland. This collaboration aims to benefit stroke survivors by using interactive technology to improve patient rehabilitation. Now, these are just some of the many achievements that have been made by our staff and our students. And Strathclyde is being increasingly recognised as a place where things happen, and this is why our graduates are so highly prized by companies and organisations who are looking to recruit the best talent to drive their businesses forward. Our success is in no small part due to the collective efforts, talent and commitment of our staff, the 4,000 colleagues who deliver our vision as a leading international technological university. And like me, they are very proud of your achievements. All of our students learn how to be innovative, enterprising and creative, and they can make a real difference when they go out into the workplace. So wherever your career takes you, always remember that as a Strathclyde graduate, useful learning carries with it responsibilities that go beyond academic scholarship. And finally, let me offer my sincerest congratulations to you all once again on your achievements, and I hope that you enjoy the remainder of what is a very special day. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that now concludes the formal part of this morning's graduation ceremony, which I hope you've enjoyed and that you'll take away very many happy memories of a wonderful event. I've looked to the back of the hall and I'm getting the proverbial thumbs down, so unfortunately the weather is not good enough to have an academic procession, but we will still have a reception in a nearby learning and teaching building to which everyone is invited, and hopefully we'll see you there for some refreshments. I now formally declare that this congregation for the conferment of degrees is closed. Please be upstanding.